Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Othello, and today we get to hear from Othello himself. We are in Act 1, Scene 3. So things that have happened. Othello kind of hates Brabantio, and because he is now married to Brabantio's daughter, he's tolerating him, but otherwise would not put up with Brabantio's shenanigans, is what we learned at the top of Act 1, Scene 2. Iago, who is Othello's advisor person, hates Othello because Othello gave somebody else the job that Iago wanted. Iago wanted to be his lieutenant, but didn't get that job, so he hates Othello. So Iago is working with Roderigo, who is in love with Desdemona, who is Othello's wife and Brabantio's daughter, to try to undo Othello. Meanwhile, the other plot that's going on is the Duke of Vienna wants/needs Othello to go lead the war effort in Cyprus because the Turkish army is coming to attack Cyprus. So we had Brabantio go and he was accusing Othello in the street, saying, you bewitched my daughter, you used all sorts of magic to steal her away from me, all that sort of thing, so I arrest you. And Othello's like, okay, great, but who's going to go fight the Duke's war? And more importantly, who's going to go tell the Duke that I can't fight his war because I've been arrested by you? And Brabantio's like, okay, we'll take this in front of the Duke now. So at the top of Act 1, Scene 3, we got to see the Duke, because now we are where the Duke is, as everybody else is coming to see him. And he's talking with a couple of his senators because they're getting conflicting information, and it sounds like maybe Rhodes is going to be attacked instead of Cyprus, but then the ships that were headed for Rhodes joined up with the ships that are headed for Cyprus, so they're all like, okay, Cyprus is where Othello needs to go, because that's going to be the primary target. And everybody's like, okay, cool, great. And then Brabantio comes storming in with Othello and Roderigo and Iago and all these other people in tow. And he's like, Duke, you have to do something about this. This man stole my daughter, and he bewitched her, and he married her, and all this stuff, and blah, 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 and he needs to be arrested for it, and yada, yada. And the Duke is like, okay, I guess we're chatting about this now. Do you have anything to say? And Othello says, most potent, grave, and reverend signors, my very noble and approved good masters, that I have taken away this old man's daughter, it is most true. True, I have married her. The very head and front of my offending hath this extent, no more. Rude am I in my speech, and little blessed with the soft phrase of peace, since these arms of mine had 7 years' pith, till now, as some 9 moons wasted, they have used their dearest action in the tented field, and little of this great world can I speak more than pertains to feats of broils and battle. And therefore little shall I grace my cause in speaking for myself. Yet, by your gracious patience, I will a round unvarnished tale deliver of my whole course of love, what drugs, what charms, what conjuration, and what mighty magic, for such proceeding I am charged withal, I won his daughter. So what he's saying now, what's fun and beautiful about this, and I don't know that it would have occurred to me as much had I not recently seen what's almost a one-man show called American Moor, performed in New York, but Othello is he's seething with distaste for these people, for the things that they have made him do. He knows he's a great general. He knows he did nothing wrong in falling in love with Desdemona, but because he's a black man and they are white men, he still has to play the game. So he's seething, but has to do all of these niceties, my gracious sovereign and approved good masters and stuff like that. And he wants so badly to punch all of them in the face, but he still has to say all of this stuff, and he still has to, kiss the right butts and all that kind of thing. But he's like, you know what? I'm going to do it because I did nothing wrong. So he says, he makes the niceties, and he says, yes, I married her. That's it. That's the extent of the offense that I have committed. I didn't do anything bad. But he's also like, I'm not going to be very good at at defending myself because I'm a warrior, I'm a soldier, I'm a general, I fight wars. That's what I do for my entire life. That's what I've been doing. So I'm not going to give you any flowery speech, but I can tell you from beginning to end how I fell in love with Desdemona and how she fell in love with me. And I love it at the end. He's like, you know, with what drugs and what charms and what conjuration and what magic I won her, because just like the sarcasm in that and the biting, like, it's like, I'm gonna tell you this story, and if you can find the magic in it, if you can find where I drugged her, if you can find where I charmed her or cast a spell on her, whatever, like, good on ya. But I'm gonna include everything that I know about, and none of it was these things that I'm being accused of. So Brabantio then has some things to say in response to what Othello has just said, and I'm not going to tell you about them because those are tomorrow's monologue. So I will see you then for that. Mwah.